guys, thanks for joining us again on Matchfishing TV UK. I'm Dan. Absolute pleasure to have you with us again. We have gone over 60 subscribers. We're less than a month old. We've had loads of great comments, suggestions on our videos so far. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Big thanks also to fellow fishing YouTubers, because we've had some great offers of help and suggestions so far. And I made a video a couple of weeks ago and listed my top 5. Could have been 50, to be brutally honest. There's so much great stuff out there, as I said. Get involved with these other channels, you know, watch as much as you can. There's some great learning out there. There's some great fun stuff. You know, I'll mention Ricky Richards and Carl Margerson Fishing have been two that have reached out and, you know, given me a bit of a morale boost to keep going and, you know, keep trying to put out the content, and also offered help with regards to camera setups and stuff. So guys, you know, can't thank you enough. Today's video is going to be on preparing for a match. So I have an open match coming up this Thursday. So when you actually see this video, I would have done a match that day, which you'll get your eyes on the week after. Now, I'd love to say I'm always perfectly prepared for every match I go into. It's not the case. I know most of the venues I fish quite well, so I can kind of second guess a few things, but I am often making pole rigs up before the start of a match and, you know, not knowing exactly the peg that I'm fishing. So I'm going to try and approach this match this week as well as I can, because I have a little bit of time. So I've got 2 days before the match. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to go and actually have a look at the venue. Now, I know the venue quite well. The open matches there are of a really high standard. You know, there's 3 or 4 very well-known anglers that fish them. So it's a challenge for me. I'm not quite at that level, I don't believe, and I'm trying to improve all the time. So any sort of edge I can give myself in terms of being prepared for the venue, you know, getting some information about what may or may not work is great. Now, this particular venue as well, to throw a curveball in, I fished a lot of matches on their match lake. However, this Thursday, we're going to be fishing a completely different lake. Now, I said that I was up for that because the match lake gets up to 20 feet in depth in places, and people are making an absolute killing fishing the slow sinking feeder. Now, that's something I can do, but that's something I can't do as well as some of the other anglers in that field. I just don't fish the method enough. I just don't fish waters that are that deep enough. The lake we're actually moving on to is up to 12 feet in depth, but more sort of standard 6-7 feet deepest areas, I'd say. So that's much more in my comfort zone. What I need to do is go and have a look at the pegs that are likely to be in play on the Thursday, so there's no nasty surprises. Have a little bit of an idea about what my approach is going to be. Check my tackle, make sure I've got everything in place that I need, and visit the tackle shop. Get last bits and bobs, bait, any sort of line, hook lengths I need, etc. if I'm running a bit low. So join me when I'm back on the bank, not fishing this time, but having a good old look at what's going to be coming up on the Thursday. Right, so I've just arrived at the lakes. Going to check out the potential pegs that are going to be in. So the lake you see behind me here is the match lake. So I know that pretty well. It gets up to about 20 feet. Walk past actually seeing people catching, which is always good. But we're going to be on this lake to the other side of me. So I just had a quick chat with the bailiff, which is always a great place to start, about depths in this lake, because I wasn't too sure down this end. It seems to be sort of 5-6 feet, so perfect. So I'm going to have a little scout out. I think I've found the stretch that we're going to be on, and have a look at each peg individually. So I've just had a look at a few of the pegs, and one thing that struck me straight away that I may not have been banking on is, if you can see, quite a sharp drop in the bank. Probably going to have to get in the water, which I don't really have a platform to do. I can do it off the box, I think, just on the edge there. So that's going to be a little bit of a problem, but it's going to be okay. In terms of the water, very open, so it's going to be a case of finding, you know, a bit of a gravel bar or a couple of spots. Initial impressions, probably start a line at sort of 40 metres, maybe start another one at 20 metres. looking for signs actually, if you get one of these pegs with features and margins, whether the pole's going to be in play. I can't really see anything down in these far margins here at the moment, but it certainly looks attractive. There's a big overhanging tree here. Just looks fishy, doesn't it? So that probably means that, as well as the feeder rods in the bag, pole's going to have to go in the bag, and probably the pellet waggler. Looks lovely though, absolutely lovely. Got the carp buoys on the far side there, not sure if you can see. So yeah, but well worth a crack, I think. So gonna have to come tackled up with a few different methods. That's okay. Gonna have to set the box up right. Off to the tackle shop for me, but well worth getting eyes on any venue that you go into that you've not been before, and well worth having a chat with the bailiffs. Look at this one, guys. Well, if this one's in, this is definitely going to be getting in the water, because there's basically no bank left here. But it's really shallow just down there. But again, you know, all of the swims here got really attractive looking overhanging features in the margins. So gonna have to bring the pole, definitely gonna have to bring the pole. But loads of stuff on top actually out the front there as well. So yeah, pole, pellet waggler, feeder. It's gonna be the approach, I think. Look at that, guys, another one that's likely to be in. Water level's well down, so again, you have to get down into the water there, I think. Shouldn't be a massive problem. Just means they've got to bring something to put over my feet to actually set the box up, so probably the wellies in this case, I think. But look at this peg, lovely. Going to be out by that island, aren't you? It's gorgeous. Again, some features to the sides. Yeah, looking forward to it. Hi guys, so just looking through my tackle, getting it ready for Thursday, and obviously the first thing I wanted to address was, can I get the box up into position in the water if I have to take it out, because obviously a lot of the pegs we saw weren't the best. So I have. I had a couple of problems, so that's why it's good to try it out before you actually go. So I've had to swap a couple of the legs over, because I haven't been out for a while. A couple of the actual extensions had seized a bit, so luckily I had some spares on hand. I also had a problem because this particular box I use, a Census one, has got really short back legs, so I was able to swap those with a couple of spares that I've got. And also it has these sort of middle legs that you can use, and what I've managed to do, because I use the Preston tray support arms instead of using the legs, is I've managed to just stick one of the short ones in the middle and use that as the tray support. So it's got my setup nice and comfortable. I've been sitting on it so that I'm confident that it's going to do the job in the water. So that's why it's always good to test out, because if I'd got to the bank and I'd realised that I couldn't sit up in the water, that probably would have been match over immediately. Right guys, so I've been to the tackle shop, and in terms of bait, I've picked up some Swim Stim carp match method mix. I've used that with some good success in the past. I feel that it's going to be that type of day. Can also put that in the cage feeder. I've got a selection of pellets. I've got some 2mm micros to go in the method mix. I've got some 8mm low feed pellets. I've got some 4mm, some sort of standard fishery pellets there. I've also got some expanders that I can fish directly on the hook for the pole, and my usual selection of Bandom wafters, Bandom sinkers. So quite well prepared. I'm going to revisit the tackle shop tomorrow evening, and I will get myself some worms and maybe a half a pint of maggots, because it's always good to have them just in case. But other than that, I'm pretty much set. As I said, if I hadn't have tested the box out, might have been in trouble. But I'm really confident now that that's the setup. I've actually got my other short leg here, and that's not going to stay there. That's just going to sit on the end of my side tray and allow me to put my roost in business. I've also got the telescopic support, so be nice and organised on the bank, especially if you're in the water. The last thing that you want is to be fetching stuff from the bank. So got that, got everything else set up. Go and get my worms and maggots tomorrow evening. before the match, and we're all good to go. So as you can see there, guys, if I hadn't have gone and had a look at the venue, if I hadn't of checked my box and the setup of my box and the capability to sort of get it up in the water, I could well have turned up for the match and been struggling from the off. I certainly would have been trying to cobble something together to get into the water, but you know, spending 15-20 minutes visiting the venue, having a check of the condition of the swims, and then having a look at my equipment has meant that actually, once I've got my final bits of bait tomorrow evening, I'm going to go in confident I can get that box straight out in the water, get everything set up, and the only problem I have then is catching lots of fish, and that's the only problem that you should really have when you go out to the bank. Thank you for watching this episode of Matchfishing TV UK. Again, much appreciated. Please like and subscribe if you like what we're doing, and next Thursday you will see whether a comfortable seat box well set up in the water actually equals any fish for me. Fingers crossed. Thank you for watching.